Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with my illegitimate drag daughter, Wilhelmina Box Farts. It is 2024, and as we usually do, we are celebrating the passing of 2023 with the passing of celebrities. Yeah. Now, again, I'd like to start off with our wish list. Who's on your wish list? Did anyone die?
Does it feel bad to wish ill upon people? It's, world leaders, a lot of them could die.
Yeah.
There's always,
My attitude is if you don't want people to want you to die and you're a public figure, then don't be a dick.
Yeah. And we won't wish...
Case in point, Doug Ford.
Yeah. We won't wish ill upon your head. I mean, I'm always still surprised when there's still a Rolling Stone alive by the end of the year. At this point, I don't expect Keith Richards to go anywhere anytime soon.
No, he's too pickled to die.
Yeah, I just lose money on my pool every year.
No, I love that Donald Trump smells like he died. Oh, yeah. But he didn't.
Yeah, hopefully his political career has died, but...
Vladimir Putin didn't die, but his career as supreme leader of Russia might, because they found his...
browser history?
No, they found that guy that's challenging him, who got lost in the penal system. They didn't know where he was, which is code for we killed him.
We killed him.
But no, they found him under an iceberg in northern Russia somewhere. In the Stalag or something. I don't know. Clarence Thomas is still alive. Yeah, he just makes me want to vomit. Do you remember when he was up for Supreme Court?
Yeah. Anita Hill was right.
But
everyone should listen to Anita Hill.
Anita Hill did not lie. He was a pig, then he's a pig now. So we're so sorry, Anita.
Everyone knows her. Big fan of politics.
Yeah, this person used to be on my wish list, and now I was surprised because I didn't really think he was ever going to die. Pat Robertson, 93.
Finally.
Yeah. So the surprises of the people who went this year. One of the ones for me was Andre Braugher, 61.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a surprise. But he was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I only knew him from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Yeah.
And, I mean, completely different types of shows. He played the same character on both of them, but so funny and then so serious.
Yeah, I love that your opinion on him just depends on which decade you watched him on TV.
Yeah.
Richard Mall, one of the final remaining members of Night Court.
Yeah.
I thought he cleared out with the rest of them, but no, he passed away at the age of 80 by bullshit.
That's a good life. That's a good life, 80. Solid. Michael Gambon, 82. If you don't know who he is by his name, he's a renowned English stage and screen actor, but he replaced Richard Harris as Dumbledore.
In the movies, in the Harry Potter movies. And my definitive Dumbledore.
He was much better. There was nothing wrong with Richard Harris. I just didn't like him as Dumbledore.
I just felt like he was about to die during the whole thing.
This was a huge shock. Steve Hartwell, the founding member and frontman for Smash Mouth, died at 56. That was a shock.
56, yeah. It was a shock to me that it was included in deaths that you should probably care about this year. Because do we care about the singer of Smash Mouth dying?
Paul Rubens died.
That one was
That surprised me. Also, it surprised me that he was 70. I just didn't think of him as being that old for some reason.
For some reason, I thought he was going to be older. I don't know why. Paul Rubens, yeah. Most people know him as Pee Wee Herman.
Yep.
And, that one was a bit sad because it felt like he was having a late career resurgence. Everyone forgot about the porn theater.
Have you seen the movie Quiz Lady?
No,
he's in it. He has a cameo in it, and because that movie came out after he died, it was like you're sitting there watching the movie, la la la. Oh my God, that's Paul Rubens. He's dead. Yeah. It was just a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I felt like we were about to get a lot more Paul Rubens, and all of a sudden, that was it. Done. That was sad.
No.
Yeah.
For the Canadians out there, Robbie Robertson from frontman from The Band.
The Band.
Yeah, he died 80. Yeah.
He did a lot.
Yeah, that's about time. Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, full life.
Life. Full rich life.
The saddest one for me, just because we all embraced this person so much. Sue Johansson, Canada's sex educator.
This is a deep cut
Sex Talk with Sue Johansson.
Out there.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. If you know this, then you have a special place in my heart.
You have a special place for your heart.
If you don't know who Sue Johansson is, then you need to look her up. Sex with Sue.
She might have come to your high school. You might have heard her on the radio. You might have seen her on TV doing
Not
the Sunday
afraid to
night
grab
show.
a girthy dildo in
She was great.
Conversation.
She was Dr. Ruth without the funny accent. If I had to sum her up in one word, it would be lube. I learned about her in university. My roommate, first year university, Scott Corbett, if you're listening, listening because we're back there now. He was listening to the Sunday night section religiously every Sunday night for 4 weeks. He listened to her. And then the 5th Sunday, he didn't listen. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what questions had been asked in that 4th Sunday. Because I'm like, what question did someone else ask? And you're like, there's my answer. Like, what? Can we still share towels? Like, that was, like, what am I? Should I be avoiding something? What is happening? I was very curious. I never found out.
Another real surprise because of the way he died, Julian Sands.
Was he the one who went off for a hike?
Yes. Yeah. His first movie was Room with a View with, what's her face?
That actress.
Helena Bonham Carter. And he was gorgeous right from the word go. He was in the
Did he go on hikes?
Warlock. But he went hiking in the mountains in, I don't even remember what state.
In America, yeah.
He was gone. They couldn't find him for months and months. And also it happened, he went missing at the beginning of winter. So they had to wait for a thaw.
You gotta wait for a thaw.
Bless, 65 he was.
Wait for a thaw.
Jimmy Buffett died. Oh my God, Margaritavillers all across the globe. Yeah, are just reeling from this. 76. He wasn't that old, really, when you consider some of the ages. But wow, what a career, what a legend. Career, yeah, he really turned that one song. Like he has in Niagara Falls in Canada, it's a tourist spot. Margaritaville bar.
I've been to the Margaritaville. I've been to several Margaritavilles around the world.
Another surprise for me for the deaths was Jerry Springer, only because I can't remember last time anybody said Jerry Springer.
That's because I just say Jerry.
Richard Belzer is a New York comedian who had a great acting career. I remember one of his first roles was in the movie Fame as a stand-up. And then he went on to be on Law and Order.
Law and Order, yeah, which is a character that he brought from another TV show. So, yeah, I love Munch in any of the Law and Order franchises.
Yeah. Melinda Dillon. Do you know who that is? Just when I say Melinda Dillon.
Yeah, there were a lot of people I skipped when I was coming up with my obituaries because I'm like, oh yeah, you're the mom and so-and-so and the nan so-and-so, but those are my only references.
Well, Melinda Dillon's career was basically playing moms. She was the mom in Close Encounters. And
the third kind.
And she was the mom in A Christmas Story. Very funny. She was just a good actress at that type of role. She was 83 when she died, and God bless her. Another surprise for me, because I thought she was dead. No offense. Raquel Welch.
Yeah, I kind of thought she was 30.
Also, I thought she would have been a lot older, but I guess she was a lot younger when she started her career than other people at that time.
It would just be nice if when I stopped thinking about people, they would just die.
Burt Bacharach.
94
he
94 years. I was surprised he was still alive. I'm also constantly surprised when I have to remember that he's a heterosexual man.
He made Dionne Warwick a star. He made
a million people a star.
Lots of people sang his songs. Raindrops Can Fall on My Head, Walk On By. Very, very famous. These are stars that I thought were already dead. So it's not that they were surprised that they were dead this year,
still here?
But I didn't think that they were still alive, and I'd gotten over it a long time ago. Top of the list, Ryan O'Neal, 82.
Thought he was dead.
Yeah, Oscar winner. He was in What's Up, Doc with Barbra Streisand, the main event with Barbra Streisand.
I think it's because he didn't manage a late career turnaround. So if your career dies, you're dead to me.
I honestly did think that this next person had died a while ago, and I'm surprised that she's as young as she was. Jean Knight, 80 years old. She was a Grammy-nominated singer of the 1971 hit Mr. Big Stuff.
Yeah, I didn't
so because of that song, I also thought that song was a hit earlier, so that's why I thought she was already dead.
I had no idea who she was.
This is a huge one for anyone who watched Saturday morning cartoons. Marty Krofft of Sid and Marty Krofft Productions, 86-year-old. He was the king of Saturday mornings. He and his brother revolutionized children's programming with HR Pufnstuf, Lidsville. And then they branched off into primetime specials for Donnie and Marie, The Brady Bunch, Barbara Mandrell. So really...
I didn't know about the
specials?
Yeah, I didn't know they did the specials. I only knew about the H&R Pufnstuf and Land of the Lost and, inspired a lot of people.
Well, there was that whole hour and a half of television that was all their shows. And they were all little, like 10, 15 minutes long.
If you've never seen any of that stuff, just drop some ass and watch it.
Find it,
blow your mind. It's like, this is what children's television was.
For those of you who are folk singer friendly or fans, Roger Whittaker. I thought he was already dead.
Yeah.
87 though.
I don't know if I didn't know he was dead or if I just didn't care. Oh yeah, another person I thought had died. Bob Barker.
Oh, I know, right? But he was 99. Like, he should have been dead by now. By other numbers that people reach.
How rude of you to stick around. Yeah. Spawning a million of the same joke about 99 is the closest you can get to 100 without going over. Everyone made the same joke in his obituary. Same one. Yeah.
I never heard it. Oh,
most of The Price is Right for like 35 years. Molester of the Barker's Beauties for about 25 of those years. And spayer of cats and dogs. No, you just encourage
whether he owned them or not. Another person who I thought had died only because of the work that they did for so many years was Clarence Avant. He was 92. Now, if you don't know who he is, Netflix has a biography. He was called the Black Godfather of Music, and he helped launch the careers of Sarah Vaughan, Bill Withers. He also was renowned for contract negotiations. He did some excellent landmark deals for sports figures and other celebrities of color, like at a time when nobody was really in their corner. So if you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you watch Netflix documentary.
The documentary was great. I knew nothing about him. Yeah, I knew nothing about him. It was just one of those people who are like, oh, I should know. Yeah. I should know everything about you.
Yeah. Gordon Lightfoot. Four-chord Gord.
Dead at 84.
Bless him.
This one was not a surprise because he's looked like he's been dying for the last 10 years.
Well, that's why I thought he had. Yeah. He had the revival of If You Could Read My Mind with...
Stars on 54.
Stars on 54.
Yeah. I was very confused when that song came out. Why do I know all the words of this song?
Yeah. Gina Lollobrigida. Actress and sex goddess. 95.
This is when I knew the name. It's like I knew the name as a reference from the 80s, but I didn't know who she was. She was right up there. It was like Dick Butkus died. Yeah. And I was like, I just thought that was just a fake made-up name that they would use in sitcoms in the 80s because I didn't realize that his fame had happened in the 70s. And I was just hearing about the aftermath of his fame. But Dick Butkus died. Still sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah. We had some sad losses this year, and one of the ones for me that was the saddest was Norman Lear. Now, he was 101, and there was a level for me where it was like, it was just a matter of time. Yeah. But when you've had someone in your life, your whole life, because I grew up watching his programs on television, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, Good Times. I mean, all of these films, shows were because of him.
Yeah, he was really groundbreaking. I mean, you're talking about abortion on Maude and interracial marriage and just, the very act of putting people of color on TV and people of color in shows and letting them run their own shows. And, I'm sure it was still all white writers, but still was nice.
Somebody who I was sad to hear die, especially since they were just recently in a movie, Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft. What you talking about? He was a great actor. He did so much more than Shaft, but his claim to fame is Shaft. And the last film I saw him in was Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson as his son Shaft. He was the grandfather Shaft, and then there was Junior, Shaft Jr., and it was such a fun movie. Regina Hall plays his baby mama. It's very funny.
Suzanne Somers died.
I didn't think she was ever going to die.
Well, she seemed to think she was never going to die. I mean, for someone who was, not towards the end, but for a lot of her life was preaching clean living and, eat this and be a vegan and, shine sunlight on your rectum and all that stuff. I mean, it didn't work, but she certainly staved off several types of cancer for a very, very long time.
It's true. Yeah. So
but she had a huge influence on me with Three's Company was a big one for me.
Yeah. And
The Thigh Master was another big one for me.
Huge.
Yeah, watching that ad and realizing I'm not straight, am I?
Somebody for me that was sad to hear die because I feel like she was one of those actors who didn't work all the time, but it was because she was picky, not because no one asked. But Piper Laurie, she was the mom in the original Carrie.
That's how I know.
They're going to laugh at you with your dirty pillows. Yeah. She was also in Children of a Lesser God, and She was Catherine Martell in Twin Peaks. Huge. She was 91 when she died. And I just really respected Piper Laurie. There's something about her that just said class act to me. I thought it was sad that Tony Bennett died. Not that I wasn't expecting him to go at some point, because he wasn't doing well. I think he was dealing with some dementia and stuff.
He was dealing with some stuff. Did you just find that Lady Gaga was just parading about? She was like a puppet? Is that what you said earlier? You said she was squeezing the last bit. I don't think
I said that at all. I'm sure you were just trying to imply.
You said she's squeezing the last bit of life out of Tony Bennett and Liza Minnelli to serve her own selfish needs. Is that something like that? I don't know. I might have got some of the words messed up.
I'm surprised that I would say that much about Lady Gaga at all. Glenda Jackson. She's an Oscar-winning actress. She was in the film Women in Love and A Touch of Class. These were iconic films in the 70s. And she was an icon in the world of cinema when I was a kid. So that was just a little nostalgic for me to hear that she had passed. Yeah.
Tina Turner died. Poor Tina Turner.
83. I mean, not really when you think of it as old as some people, but good grief, that was... I have to say, because she had retired and stepped away from music, I had no idea about her health and all that. And then I saw that documentary and I was like, oh. And then it was still a couple of years after that she died. Yeah. Like, it wasn't that they did the documentary because do it now, you know what I mean? It wasn't like that at all. So, well done, Tina Turner. You will always be my private dancer.
Thank you very much.
This is somebody I'm sure you might not know.
I don't.
But Jock Zonfrillo.
Sounds made up.
Scottish chef, but he was on the Australian MasterChef show.
Also sounds made up.
As one of the judges, and
what did they do? Just
he was great
on the Barbie.
They recast the whole judging panel on MasterChef Australia, and he was one of the people they brought in, and he was great because just first of all, the Scottish accent in the middle of all those Australian ones was just hilarious, but he also had a great sense of cooking. Like he wasn't just eating haggis and blood pudding. Like, he had a great sense of it.
Would you?
But he was only 46. Yeah, he was only 46 when he died. He had cancer, and he filmed the last season of MasterChef Australia that he was on without telling anyone that he had. Like, it was, he knew he was dying. He knew he wouldn't be doing another season, and it was just so sad because they announced his death at the beginning of the aired season, but they'd already filmed everything, and so it was a poignant season to watch. In fact, I think that's the last season of MasterChef Australia that I've seen. So, God bless him.
Sinead O'Connor died.
Yes, she did.
That was a bit of a shock.
She had a very troubled life.
She's a troubled woman, but I wasn't expecting her to.
No,
wasn't expecting her to disappear.
No, yeah, that's it's hard when people that you don't expect to die. She's only 56. It's hard when people like that go because it's just, it's easier, I think, when they've had a life. Like, oh, they were 88. Oh, they did things. They've seen things.
You can miss them.
Harry Belafonte died. Now, I would have normally have put him under people I thought were already dead, but I knew he wasn't. So, but it was sad to hear that he did go. I mean, 96. It was just a matter of time. But not only was he a singer and an actor, but he was a civil rights activist. He marched alongside Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So
I don't think if you're an artist of that age range, you could avoid not being a civil rights activist.
Yeah. What else are you doing?
Whether you wanted to or not, just the sheer act of you being an artist of color at that age, and you're an activist whether you want to be or not.
Yeah. I was sad to hear that Len Goodman died. He was a Strictly Come Dancing and Dancing with the Stars judge.
I had no reference.
No,
I knew who he was, but I don't watch these shows.
78, and I think the last season that he was on those shows, you could tell he wasn't as well as he normally is. Yeah, he seemed a little gaunter or something, but very funny and an excellent dance judge.
Barry Humphries died at age of 89, better known to everyone as Dame Edna Everett.
Yeah.
That, didn't surprise me.
No, 89, and also he didn't look healthy, like it was a matter of time. But
I saw her live one time.
I did, I saw her live a couple times. Brilliant.
One of the funniest things I'd ever seen.
No kidding,
So much meaner than on TV. I was
very funny.
Very much into that.
Yeah. Canadian actor Gordon Pinsent died this year, and I bring him up because I worked with him.
I worked with him.
Yeah, I really like Gordon Pinsent as a person, but he was also in a play here in Toronto called The Sum of Us. It's an Australian play about a father who has a gay son and only wants the best for his son, like very supportive dad. But that second half of the play, he's paralyzed. He's had a stroke and he can't move. And it's his son talking to him. And there's a scene where the son leaves the room and he stands up and starts talking to the audience about how much he's worried about his son. And I always get so emotional because it's such an honest monologue. And then to work with him, I was on Road to Avonlea and he walked into the room and I started crying. And everyone looked at me and I couldn't explain myself until later that day. And it must have been the right thing to say to Gordon Pinsent because we were best friends from then on. But yeah, I was a fan of his anyway, but when I saw him in The Sum of Us, excellent work.
I just got to watch him roll off the bed by accident at a really gross no-tell motel out on Kingston Road.
Ooh, it's not the same.
Just a couple of years ago.
Not as moving.
No.
Oh, God, I was so sad to hear Cindy Williams died.
Cindy Williams.
Laverne and Shirley's.
Oh, she outlived Laverne. And
she was Cheryl. She was Cheryl. 75. That's not that old, but...
That's not that old, but what was she doing?
The last time I saw her on TV, she was on Girlfriends, and she played the mother of a boy that one of the girls was dating. It was very funny.
Cute. You know who else died this year who I hadn't thought about in a million years and didn't realize was still alive? Do you know who Al Jaffe is?
I do.
From Mad Magazine?
Yeah.
He died at 101.
Oh, he was the artist. Wasn't he signature artist for Mad?
He created the flap on the back.
Which was always my favorite part.
He only retired from Mad Magazine in like 2020.
Wow.
That man is more influence on my life than I care to think about. Thank you very much.
Mad Magazine. God, iconic. You can't do that today.
That was one that I was like, oh, yeah. Surprised me.
I'd like to close off with Gone Too Soon, who we shouldn't be missing, but we are. And I'm starting it off with Heklina. Drag legend from San Francisco. She died in England on tour. She was working. She was blessed. She was booked. Only 54, bless her.
That was a shock because I only just was really finding out about it.
Yeah.
Because I watched something, was it that cooking show with Neil Patrick Harris and
what was that?
Boring husband.
Drag Me to Dinner?
Drag Me to Dinner.
Was that what it was called?
Was Heklina in that?
Yep,
it's so
she was.
funny
and
so dry. And I was like, and I'm so sad that this is my, the last thing I'm going to see you do because I wanted to gobble up everything she did.
And the Queen's, clearly the reach was far and the love was wide.
Yeah. Well, we knew she had a far reach. She was handsy. That was one thing.
Yeah.
One thing I knew about her. Matthew Perry was murdered by his hot tub. Or so they wanted us to believe.
Yeah, it just sounds like an unfortunate situation. Like it doesn't sound like...
It was unfortunately, I think Matthew Perry didn't have a chance to have a mid-career comeback because the end of his career was
It didn't sound like he wanted to either. No,
it was kind of a sad end to...
battling his own demons.
Yeah.
Another shock for me, again, because of her age, 56... Tatiana Petit, she was one of the supermodels that was featured in George Michael's Freedom video. Like one of those supermodels. Yes.
We don't have supermodels anymore. Stop trying to be like she's a new supermodel.
It's no such thing.
She's not. That was the 90s
no such thing. Yeah. No.
They all died in the 90s.
Yeah, it surprised me. I just couldn't. It just was so out of left field. You know what I mean? Especially because when they're not in the news, and then the next thing you hear is they die. It's a little much.
Yeah. Speaking of not in the news, Lisa Marie Presley, dead at 54. And not that I'm upset that she's dead. I'm just upset that she made these lists of celebrities. Because I forgot about Lisa Marie Presley. And then I was like, why is she a celebrity? I was like, okay, your parents. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you were married to Michael Jackson at one point. I forgot about that. Yeah. Which now just feels like a way to boost your ratings during Sweeps Week. It just... It feels like a fever dream. Was she married to Michael Jackson?
She was. I remember watching them kiss uncomfortably and awkwardly on an award show to prove to the world that their marriage was lasting, and it just made it worse. 54. And 54. What stunned me about her death wasn't even that she was that young. That it happened right after the opening of the movie about her father, Elvis.
Oh, her father was Elvis Presley. That's why we know who she is.
Well, I have some honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, for instance, George Brown, George Funky Brown, 74. He was the drummer and co-founder of Kool and the Gang, and I love Kool and the Gang, so I felt it was important to add him. But in addition to playing drums, Brown also wrote a lot of the band's songs, including Celebration, Ladies' Night, Jungle Boogie, Get Down on It, and Too Hot. So I think that man needs to be acknowledged.
Mention him.
Yeah. Joanna Merlin, 92, she was a film Broadway actress who originated the role of Zeidel in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, this one's all you.
But she was also in movies like Famous. She was the dancing teacher who gave Coco a hard time in the original movie Fame.
Coco.
And she was in one of my favorite films.
No?
Bad.
That's
it's
me.
So bad.
That's me showing my boobs.
No, it's not good. She was also in one of my favorite films, Mystic Pizza. And she was on TV as Judge Lena Petrovsky in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Sexy Vixens Unit.
She's Phyllis Coates, died 96, and she was the first actress to play Lois Lane ever.
That's the only reason I know her.
Yeah. Gary Wright died this year. He was 80. Now, he's a singer and songwriter.
I only knew one song. Is he Dreamweaver?
Yeah, that's exactly who he was. But he was also instrumental in introducing synthesizers into rock and pop music with that hit. So before Dreamweaver, no one was using it, and his song did so well that after that, everyone was using it. So well done. Arlene Sorkin
I know
died.
this one too. This is nerdy. The voice of Harley Quinn in the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
Which is the only DC.
Yeah. She had a daytime Emmy nomination for her role as Calliope Jones on Days of Our Lives. And my mom used to watch that show, and I remember her on it because I love the name Calliope.
Oh, God, yeah. This was a bad year there were a lot of people when I was going through the obits this year. A lot of people from like One Life to Live, which is ironically sad, but just like so many daytime Emmys. And I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I'm sure you were very busy and famous, for 20 years on the show that I never watched and have no reference to.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, soap operas are on a different level. Yeah,
don't know who you are.
Another person that a lot of people might recognize but not necessarily know, Ron Cephas Jones. He was 66. Now, he was a stage and screen actor, but he was recently starred in This Is Us as William Hill. Yeah. So you would definitely recognize him. But he died. That's too bad because that was a huge hit, that series. Yeah. Another name for me that just was sad to hear, Inga Swenson. Now, she was 90. She's an actress. She played Gretchen Krause on Benson. But she was also Rose's slutty sister on the Golden Girls. Girls, yeah. And so that's a shame.
Inga's.
I was sad to hear that Alan Arkin died.
89.
He's an Oscar-winning actor who was in Little Miss Sunshine, I think is one of his more recent films, anyway, as the heroin-addicted grandpa.
Well, at this point, I kind of thought Alan Arkin was never going to die. And we were just going to enjoy him in movies for the rest of his life.
Edward Scissorhands, Gross Point Blank, The Kaminsky Method. Like, he's been in everything. Yeah.
Could we please bring him back?
Jim Brown died this year. He was 87. If you don't know him, he originally was a fullback and MVP winner for the Cleveland Browns.
See what happens when you try to talk about sports.
I know. He won the Most Valuable Player award 3 times. But when his career was done, he went into acting, and he was in The Dirty Dozen. He was in The Running Man. He was in Mars Attacks. He was the guy in the Egyptian costume who punches the alien's helmet in Mars Attacks. Also, another person that I really liked, Barbara Brine. She's a British stage and screen actress. She's 94, but she originated the role of Jack's mother in Into the Woods.
Oh, that's why I don't know.
And I love the original cast of that. Bernadette Peters was in it. I think she was nominated for a Tony, but she was also...
I like songs you can sing along to, so I don't like Into the Woods.
No, you wouldn't. I am so honored to give this woman an honorable mention. Eileen Saki, she died this year, 79. She was one of the 6 women who played Rosie on MASH.
She was my favorite.
She played it the most. She was the one that was...
Rosie's bar.
Yeah.
Paul's made sure she has some great knee-high stuff. Yeah.
This was a shock because the franchise is doing so well. Lance Reddick, who you will know as the concierge of the hotel for the John Wick series. He's also in The Wire.
And I loved him in Fringe.
Yeah.
He played Broyles in Fringe.
Yeah,
I love Lance Reddick, yeah.
Chaim Topol.
Bless you.
87 years old. Stage and screen actor. He was Tevye on stage, but also in Norman Jewison's film. He was the Tevye to almost everyone. He died this year, 87. Paco Rabanne, the Spanish designer, died this year.
He took a smell of his terrible cologne and just died immediately.
Lisa Loring.
Oh, the original Wednesday Addams.
64 she was, bless her heart.
The 60s sitcom. David Crosby died.
Finally, 81,
his
bless
liver's
him.
still going strong,
Bless
and
him.
as are his offspring.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that he donated sperm to Melissa Etheridge because it feels like a very... what's the word I'm looking for? Irrelevant pop culture reference at this point.
Yeah.
Both Melissa Etheridge and sperm donation.
Jeff Beck, the legendary guitarist and innovator of how one plays the guitar from the Jeff Beck Group, which is lucky they hired him.
It's a good thing they hired him, yeah.
He died this year at 78, bless his heart. Well, there you go. Another year down and a whole bunch of famous people dead.
Good. Less people to remember.
Thinning out the herd, as it were. Yeah. So, if we didn't mention somebody that you noticed died this past year, let us know down below. What were you going to say? Tough?
I said tough.
Tough. No.
Make your own video.
Yeah, let us know down below. Or, if you don't agree with who was a surprise, maybe there were a couple of surprises for you that weren't so much for us, or vice versa. And did we forget anybody? I don't think we did, but...
No one we cared about.
There were a lot of people that I didn't mention because I either didn't know who they were or didn't care.
We didn't care.
They didn't care. No offense.
No offense.
I can only care about so much. And then I get tired.
I get so tired.
I have to take a break. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, why don't you do that as well? These are the best ways to support the Fingerdoo review. But if you're looking for other ways, you can also leave us a tipper-doo by using the thanks button, which is just below us on the screen, or you can use any of the links in the description box down below for joining the Fingerdoo family on Patreon, getting yourself some Wilma merch from my Redbubble store, or leaving an OG tipper-doo through PayPal. I want to say thanks for joining.
Oh, you should.
And until next time, miss me! Seriously.
Seriously.
A lot of dead people.